Am I live? Yeah, looks like I'm live. Hey, it's been a long time. I don't remember when my last live stream was, but yeah, nice to be here again. After some pretty bad case of flu that I had in the past few weeks. My voice is not entirely back, but and I still cough just a teeny tiny bit, but yeah, I'm getting better, and I was thinking about making some videos today, but had some other stuff to do. I've got health problems, both mental and physical. I've got economical problems, and now also some other family situation, shall we call it. Yeah. Different view, yeah. I'll show you the changes that I made to my filming setup, because I was working pretty intensely on the hardware and software that I'm using for live streaming here. And this will offer some more possibilities, but for the time being, no, this is not the only cat I have. I have one more. If you hear the meowing in the background, that's another cat. And of course I've got a mobile camera, the Keri Pro. This would be the desk station viewed from the Keri Pro I've got on the mount here. And now the Elgato face cam is looking at me from above the monitor. It replaced the Logitech stream cam, and I will tell you what, it's far better. When it comes to low light recording and streaming, it's a lot better, and it has very decent default settings, but I never run my cameras on default settings. I always check and tweak what I can tweak. I'll turn off the light, and this is the Elgato face cam in a low light condition. It is pretty grainy, but it really does well when it comes to auto exposure. It cranks the ISO up a lot, and that's why you'll see all this grain, but But the stream cam, I had to use it on manual exposure setting because otherwise it was vastly washed out, far too bright. And it was usable only if I set the exposure time and gain manually, but this doesn't adapt to the lighting conditions. Like I mainly use natural light in my lamp, but when it's getting cloudy, it can discombobulate the camera feed. It goes all too dark or all too bright. And by the way, now the setup now it's not perfect either, because sometimes the camera feed from the face cam it's stuttering and like lost frames, though OBS doesn't show it in stats. Yeah, maybe I'll get a better view on the screen. Yeah, street musicians playing Johnny Be Good. Not sure if you can hear that, but yeah, let's rock and roll. And you can... yeah, this is Inception time. Zero frames missed due to rendering and encoding lag. But sometimes I get that stuttering. So I guess this is gonna be the meta stream. I'm gonna talk a lot about how my setup changed and how I will be making those videos by now. But let's read the chat. Yeah, cats are good for streaming, yeah. Now, today I've got 2 cats, and tomorrow there will be one more, but that one is pretty timid, and he's gonna just stay upstairs. But there's a chance that a second cat will come here and jump right on my desk. He is pretty lively and he is far lighter than Coco. Coco is a real deal chunker, a heckin' chunker. Just look at this heckin' chunker. Yeah, something outside smells like Teen Spirit. We've got musicians outside. It's been pretty cold lately. Not the heyday of the tourist season, but in the tourist season, we've got we've got street musicians playing for hours and hours the same tune every single fucking day. If you don't live here, if you're a tourist, and if you just visit the place, then it's not a problem. But if you live here and hear the same thing day in and day out, this is just a fucking nuisance. And especially me being autistic, it gets on my nerves pretty fast. Yeah. Highland Place. This is my lab. It's been my lab for 5.5 years, and now I just fear that I might lose it in a few months. I'm not sure how things will look like, but I might have to move out somewhere, and being on a very low income, if that happens, it will be either some of my friends helping me, or just me going to an abandoned building and setting a lab in a squat. By the way, I got a story of my friends who squatted a genuine chemical lab a bunch of kilometers away to the north. They found an old building that belonged to the national forests, but was abandoned, and they got in and started to live there. And they asked me to do some technical stuff at the place, like looking into the possibility of hooking power and water up, which I did. And I helped those people to recombobulate the place to some extent. Unfortunately, they were kicked out after something like 1.5 years. But I got a lot of lab gear from that place. Lots and lots of old lab equipment, some of which I remembered from my days at university, because I've got a master's degree in polymer chemistry. I studied chemistry, and we used a lot of old, outdated equipment, like spectrophotometers, like lab scales, some meters and whatnot. One of the devices from the lab is this. I had two of them, pH meters with Nixie millivolt meter, and converted one of them to a thermometer, while also it was a spare part donor for one of my analog multimeters. Yeah, steep roof building It's not all that common in Poland, but this is how they built them in the center of Gdańsk. As a matter of fact, it reminds me of the tenement houses in the Netherlands. And since the city was built in the 16th and 17th century, a lot of those buildings were similar to the Dutch architecture. And I got some more cool stuff from that lab, like the spectrophotometer, the Speckle 11, but I've got some even older electronics that I'm gonna do the teardowns of that stuff. Because the engineering that went into those devices, it's pretty interesting. Those that gear was made in the German Democratic Republic, East Germany, in fact. Not too much democracy in that country. And I took a look at how they were built inside, and it's pretty neat, with some interesting features. Like, you're gonna be surprised how they did multi-turn potentiometers. Because they didn't have multi-turn potentiometers, they just used a regular potentiometer with a 1 to 10 transmission. Like, you had to turn the knob 10 times to have a full rotation on the potentiometer shaft. But the potentiometer was just a regular type you could get, not the multi-turn that you have to turn the shaft a bunch of times for the full swing. And maybe let's... What's the time, by the way? Oh! It's 8:30. And since it's 8:30, guess what? Ignition and woofo. Oh shit, that scared the cat. Unforeseen consequences. Again. Yeah, I should have really thought about the influence of woofling on cats. Unforeseen consequences of science. And there's also a dog. We got more pets now. cat is not fireproof. The cat didn't have contact with fire, but I think the light and the sound really scared him. Yeah, I will have to be a lot more thoughtful next time. Maybe keeping the pets outside, not letting them into the lab, because things do happen, and I don't want things to happen if I don't have to. So maybe let's move over to the bench. And the light is coming back with a vengeance, like me. And I've got this additional Keri Pro camera on both the bench and the desk scene. So I can use it in both scenes. I'm not limited to this one, and I can show you what changed in the bench filming setup. So now I've got two cameras on the bench. This is the first Keri Pro I had. Now it's here. Instead of the regular Razer Keri that I use with test gear in mind. And now I can look at the test gear with the Razer Keri. I can also zoom on in. Look at that scope. One sine wave coming up. That's the thing that I wanted to do for a long time. To be able to show you what's happening on the scope. But I had some hardware problems, because if I have too many cameras, the USB bandwidth runs out, and I've got all manner of problems with cameras, like freezes, stutters, and cameras not wanting to work at all. And I decided to change this a teeny tiny bit. Maybe not a teeny tiny bit, but quite significantly. if you look at this box, this is a computer, an industrial mini ITX one that grabs the streams from the Kia Pro above the bench, the Kia that looks at the test gear and the microphone, and it encodes them as NDI, Network Digital Interface, puts the stream on the local area network, and then I just pick up those streams in OBS. So I've got my setup divided into two machines. One of them is this little encoding mini ITX machine above the bench. And the other one is the stream engine, the main PC. I can also use OBS on my laptop, the ThinkPad W520, but I'd rather not do that in the lab. I only do that when I'm away and filming or streaming in remote locations, because that machine has weaker specs, and it's not optimized for high load that recording and streaming uses. But wait a moment, here's something more. I got my bench laptop that also has an NDI encoding program that grabs the screen wait a moment, it's not it's not NDI, it's just regular VNC. But yeah, I'd have to get back to this, but what I want to do with this machine is to be able to show you any schematics or data sheets that I have right next to the bench as I for reference when I'm working on something. And I also have a tablet above the bench. It's been here for something like a year. It runs a program named OBS Blade that I can use for controlling the OBS remotely, like turning the sources and scenes I just hit the Key Pro. And I kinda like the fact that sources in a scene can be stacked on top of each other. So I might have one source enabled as a baseline and add another source on top of it. Like if I turn off the Key Pro feed now. But first I will turn on the test gear cam and turn this very camera off. Then you'll see the test gear. And if I turn off the test gear cam, you'll see the regular bench cam. That's how it works. The only drawback of this is that it gets a teeny tiny bit confusing if you have too many sources, and it puts a cognitive load on you to decide which one to use. It's just a lot of visual clutter. So let me get back to the chat for now. Oh, not the media file, because yeah, I don't want this to auto-start. Yeah. That's it. Corrected. Live. Yeah, the scope is a Tektronix 468. It's a it says it's a digital storage oscilloscope, but it's nowhere near the modern DSO. Of course, I got it second-hand, and it's as old as me. Probably. 1996, I think. I'm 1996 born, so... This thing is... if... Great Scott, if my calculations are correct, this thing is as old as me. And I sometimes use the storage features on this for viewing the envelope of the signal. But generally I use it as a regular analog scope. And tell you what, I never really got into using the modern DSOs. I'm an old school analog scope gal. And I wonder if I still have the first scope I ever had. The one right over there. The bigger one, the Hamag 205 or 204 was my third scope, but the The first scope was a small vacuum tube one named Mini 4, clearly inspired by Philips, because Philips made some little oscilloscopes in the 50s or 60s, and that one's pretty similar. Then the second scope, then the big one, the real deal, it was ZRK OS 102. Totally tubular. Big, it weighed something about 30 kilograms, and it was all made with vacuum tubes. And looking at it, it was obviously inspired by Tektronix, the 535 or something like that. Those big old scopes from the 50s. With lots of ECC 88s or E88CC vacuum tubes, double triodes that were meant for working in a cascade circuit, one above the other. Later on, those tubes became much sought after by audiophiles, and their prices skyrocketed. And I still have a good few of those tubes from back in the days. I regret selling that scope off, but it just took a lot of space in my room, in my old lab. Now it would be a no-brainer that I want to keep it, because it was quite a looker. I got it for free from a electronics repair shop that was moving, and they were getting rid of stuff. I got it something around 2005, and all it took to get it working was replacing a single resistor. And I had a good scope for a bunch of years in my lab that by that time it was named Voltec Electronics. Of course, from my passion for the Fallout 1 and 2. Yeah. When I built amps and other tube stuff, I can show you one preamp that I made back in the day, something like 2007, 2008. An unfinished, pretty experimental project. Yeah, let's zoom on in. Maybe not that much, but I took a few parts out of this. There was a mains transformer here, but I took it out. Also some switch or potentiometer. But I made those terminal strips by hand with a technique that I learned from Piotr Stanisz from of Black Dog Amplification. We were friends in 2000s. Now I wouldn't be friends with him anymore because he turned out a pretty right wing and Catholic conservative. He clearly wouldn't accept a trans woman like me. Yeah. But I also experimented with making this as good as I can. It was supposed to be a microphone preamp. If you look at this, it's got microphone transformers and mu metal housing. Those transformers, I think I salvaged from some old Siemens PA amplifier that was no good for use, but this weird Keri's contraption. It was supposed to be a preamp for my home PA system back in the place when I wanted to build a wired broadcast PA system at home, and I wanted to do it with vacuum tubes. So it's got some microphone. Now those are line inputs, but had a microphone input, the front panel, and some switches. I think one of them was for the phantom power. The other ones would be for switching between the line and microphone levels, and the third one I don't even remember. This also had a standby switch and pilot lamps for power and standby. I salvaged the main switch from it for some other project. Also had a VU meter that I tinkered with the scale on that VU meter. And of course, this hole, I think it was for master volume, common tone controls, and probably the switch for tone defeat, and the input level controls. I used vintage capacitors that I still have a good stock of, and I used 6N2P-EV military grade double triode, and some of those Tesla E88cc double triodes that I mentioned. I also have the Philips Miniwatt E88cc And the thing back here is it's a vacuum tube DC voltage regulator with an ECL 86 that I think that I should keep for some amplifier projects. I think I should test it and use it for some better purpose than a power supply, because those tubes are pretty scarce, but still rather popular. And this means that they go up in prices and they become more and more precious. So I just stick to anything that I can lay my hands on. If I can get vacuum tubes cheap, then I will get them cheap. Like this year's St. Dominic's Fair, I had the opportunity to get a bunch of tubes that I would potentially use, and yeah, I bought a few, and they will stay in the lab. So, back to the desk. And back to the chat. Yeah, I'm pretty lucky. I got into tinkering with vacuum tubes in 2000s. When I was still in high school. I can hear meowing. He might be. Oh, I think I can help him come here. Blinding the cat with science. Nah, that didn't work. It's a pity. Oh, green mist. The tubes. Sometimes they are pretty characteristic. If you look at them, you just. If you're experienced in tinkering with tubes, you can sometimes recognize them right away, just by the look of it. Because sometimes they are very, very characteristic, and you can't mistake them for anything else. For example, the EL34, it's pretty tall, and generally it's much taller and thinner than either the 606 or the KT88. the ECL 86. Maybe let's get a better view on this. It has one bigger section. This is the power pendant, and the smaller section here, it's a signal triode. But there's one problem with those tubes. They are very similar to a version that uses different heating, PCL 86. That the PCL tube, it uses 300 milliamps heating in series, while the ECL 86 uses 6.3 volts in parallel. And this means that the ECL 86 has way lower heater resistance than the PCL 86, and if you know the approximate resistance, then you can just use a ohm meter, your typical DMM, to tell the ECL from the PCL. How to tell Echo from Papa. And this, when I went to the St. Dominic's Fair in my search of tubes, I brought my DMM, not the Fluke, but the old Unity, and I was just sitting there at the stand, browsing through the box full of tubes, and whatever caught my attention and was a candidate for buying, I used the meter to check the heater. Use the meter to check the heater. And not only I could reject the tubes that had broken, burned heaters, an obvious issue that the tube is not gonna work at all. I could also determine the type of the tube, because I knew approximately how much power the tube draws for heating, and how much current and how high would the voltage be. And this gives me an idea about the resistance for both versions. Even though the cold filament has a way lower resistance, because it's still a positive temperature coefficient resistor. So while it would be something about a fraction of an ohm for the 6.3 volts and a bunch of ohms for the 300 milliamp series heating version. And that's how you tell them apart. Am I drinking boba tea? No, it's just water with raspberry syrup. not the Raspberry Pi, but yeah. Yeah, I got 2 of those ECL 86 tubes side by side. So let's get to the bench again. I can do a little teardown. So now the days and nights are colder, and there's something that might come in handy if it's working. But if it's not working, it's no use. Still, it can be sacrificed for science. So I've got this electric blanket that has a network, then the mains unit with the temperature adjustment. Not exactly temperature adjustment, but power adjustment. I'm getting a little overexposed, and here it's got a connector where you can pull the plug. The plug has 4 contacts, but not all of them are in use. So I'm gonna take this apart, but first I'm gonna take apart the connection on the blanket, because this blanket has a broken heater wire. Can't be fixed anymore. It might be something interesting to discombobulate. There are screws going through the blanket to the opposite side. And there are 2 wires coming out of this box. Wonder if I can make it a teeny tiny bit darker. Maybe I should switch off the light. That's just a bit too dark. What if I shine some light from the other side? So I can take it apart. There's a piece of printed circuit board in this plug. The 2 metal contacts are connected together, going to something like a shield wrapped around the resistive wire. And the proper resistive wire is going to the extreme contacts. First, maybe let's check the resistance. Slightly below 300 ohms. But if you look at the meter, it's going crazy. It's just complete bonkers. It doesn't hold the value. I can move it this way and that way, and it's all over the place. And this issue with the heating wire caused the fuse to blow in the control box. There's also some resistance, very low resistance between the spiral and the central core, which suggests that there's a short somewhere along the way. So now I could pull some of the wire out of the blanket, because it will never work like it should. I think I will just donate the blanket to a animal shelter, because places like this always need those blankets for the pets. But now let's just discombobulate some of this heater wire to show you how its internal construction looks like. Musicians are playing Highway to Hell. So after pulling the outer sheath, it's a spiral wrapped around a plastic insulation. And if I unwrap this, I should be able to take the insulation from the central core. Come on. Oh yeah, it's discombobulated. And if you take a closer look... Come on, focus. Maybe some more light. There's also the resistive wire wrapped around a bunch of a bunch of fibers, probably fiberglass, because this is directly in contact with a heating wire, so it has to withstand high temperatures. So yeah, I've got the resistive wire. And this loop of wires, a few tens of meters goes throughout the entire blanket. And now let's get to the box. Johnny be good again. Did I tell you something about those musicians playing the same tunes all over and over and over again? It's the Groundhog Day. Maybe not in Keritech, but around Keritech. It's the Groundhog Day all the time. Getting bored. So, taking this apart, it has a switch. And this switch slides and connects different sets of contacts. When it's off, it's when it's off, it's in the farthest position. Yeah, that's how it was put together. So 0 would be the switch would be here and here. Moving to 1, that would connect this contact with one mains contact and this with the other one. Moving to 2, this connection would stay the same while this one would change over to the next contact, and moving to 3, this would stay like the previous one, and this would change over to yet another one. And this is the fuse, the original one blew, and I replaced it, but the replacement, there was a few replacements, and a bunch of them blew. This one stayed the same, but in the end it turned out that the heater wire blew. So the blanket is no use. Not sure if I want to reverse engineer this thing, but yeah. Hope it was pretty interesting. So yeah, let's get back to the desk and read the chat. Yeah, Peter Hancock got the fluke too. I bought this fluke a year ago when I was working at electric vehicle service equipment company named Anelion, and I designed a printed circuit board for some research project. Also did some other stuff at the company. They were not doing well financially, so they laid me off. But I was able to afford buying a second-hand Fluke DMM that has stayed with me for a year. And now, tell you what, something. I will tell you an interesting thing, because I made a video about this Fluke meter. And this video seems to have been taking off pretty nicely lately, while not staying popular for many months. Now, if I can find that video. Yeah, one moment please, working at it. Yeah, new gear look. A look at the Fluke 179. There you have it. Babs your uncle. So I had this Fluke multimeter for almost a year. Never failed me. If I were to buy another DMM, that would probably be in the Fluke 87.5. That thing is fucking legendary. How they do the power adjustment, switch mode PSU. Oh, for that electric blanket? No, it's way simpler, because one setting is it's just running the heater through a diode, so this just cuts the sine wave in half, leaving the positive halves of the waveform while blocking the negative ones. So that's half the power. And I think that there's also a phase angle adjustment, though it's fixed by a voltage divider. I think I saw a Firestar, an SCR in this thing. What's the part number? Is 97A6. It's a triac. So yeah, phase angle adjustment with a fixed divider. Let me show you. Right here at my desk. Got the triac here. Come on, focus camera. You don't have ADHD. And the divider would be those two pesky little buggers. I think it's a Zener diode and of course a resistor. Zener diode or Yener diode? Yeah, now I think they are covering corn. Bus number 666. Yeah, this it either still is or was a thing that the bus line from Gdynia to the Hell Peninsula, the very end of the Hell Peninsula, Hell with a single L, is number 666, the number of the beast. And there was a bunch of Catholic conservatives that didn't like the idea of a bus number 666 going straight to hell. No, I don't have it here. Oh yeah, Chipmunk, nice to see you again. Knipex, I've got a bunch of Knipex tools. Let me show you. That's one. That's another one. And there's one more. Like, those are my first Knipex pliers ever. I bought them in 2019, I think, when I was doing a bunch of wiring jobs and decided to get myself some more professional tools. While those two, the electronics side cutters and electrician's scissors, and not just scissors, but it can also cut the stranded wire pretty nicely, and can work as a so-so ferrule crimping tool. I won those two in a contest by Knipex, a Advent calendar contest in 2020, I think. That I was lucky to get those tools back in the day. When I took part in a bunch of subsequent contests, I won nothing because probably they became more popular, and the chances of actually winning something, even if you get all the answers right, were far slower, and I wasn't lucky this time. And Speaking of good quality tools, this is also a... Yeah, let's get some light back here. My favorite screwdrivers, they are Wycha. Really nice, and I like how they feel in my hand. Dave Jones uses Wycha. I got a Yokari stripper, but I don't use this because it always rips some strands of the wire. I've got something slightly better, quite genius, the Pierre Giacomi stranded wire stripper. Not just stranded, but also solid core it can do, no problem. It's just freaking genius how simple and effective this thing is. Like if I have a piece of solid core wire, I just put it through a hole that will accept it. Move the wire so that the blades just stay on the length I want to cut it at, and pull back. Those blades they will close in and clamp on the wire. See? They are now flat, and if I pull the wire back, they will just rip off the piece of insulation. That's how you do it. Very ingenious. And about some other very useful tools. This one goes out to Fran, because that's where I first learned about using medical forceps in electronics. I bought all of them at the St. Dominic's Fair, and they are mighty useful, not just in electronics work, but also in precision mechanical stuff. Different lengths, different shapes, different forces. Also got some good quality tweezers. And a surgical or dentist's instrument, a spatula. This side broke off. I will need to get myself another one. But generally, medical tools sometimes come in handy in an electronics lab. So it's 25 minutes till the end of the stream. Yeah, Flapjack Batter, those musicians, they often play until the late at night, sometimes even as long as 3 a.m. Sometimes it's a fucking nuisance, to be honest. Six six eight, the next door neighbor of the Beast, of Mr. Beast. I've been following the Mr. Beast drama lately. The question I have is how will this affect YouTube in general? All the channels, the biggest friggin' channel, the most subscribers, it's Mr. Beast, and with the controversy about some really unhinged stuff going out lately in the summer, like hiring registered sex offenders or putting the contest participants through literal torture. That's I think that's gonna be an end of a certain era. But Mr. Beast is a symptom of a larger problem going on around YouTube. That YouTube, it's no longer you. It may have a tube, but it's no longer you. It's just too many corporations have taken over. Too many creators, even if individual creators, they seem to have started caring about the stats, the views, the subscriptions above all, rather than making good videos about, rather than being passionate about the videos they make. They just chase the numbers and lick the boots of the YouTube recommendation algorithm. It has become way too soulless. And now with this frigging AI, I don't think that this to be a true artificial intelligence, because it just regurgitates the data it has been fed. It will never come up with anything new, anything truly creative. It's just recreation of what has been around and what the machine learning algorithms have been fed. But I'm going off on a tangent here. Still, I often see the videos with some text-to-speech synthesis with no human intervention, and this is a part of YouTube as a platform being unshittified. Like Cory Doctorow talked about the phenomenon called platform unshittification. Like platforms, internet platforms, portals that offer certain services. In the start, run on a good idea. They treat their content creators, the recipients, the employees pretty well, but over time, as the platform grows, when it's getting bigger and bigger, then the greed kicks in, corporate greed, and the platform is no longer for the viewers, the recipients. It's no longer for the content creators. The viewers and the creators, they are just numbers, they are just statistics, they are just clicks. And the revenue is in advertisements, and all they care about is maximizing the revenue for the shareholders, not the employees, not the company itself, but shareholders. And when this becomes the priority number one, the platform, the company that runs it, no longer has the incentive to serve the people who made the platform big in the first place. Yeah, Knipex appreciation, Fred. Oh, Ola, yes, I do watch Rucha Paru, The Resistance. I love that channel. It's a team of Polish electricians in the UK dealing with the British standards of wiring and being dang good at it. Also dealing with the British construction practices from a slightly different perspective of someone who has emigrated from Poland to the UK, like thousands or maybe even millions of Polish people did. And getting the license and working in a trade, being an electrician, mainly doing the residential wiring. And the guy has a mighty nerdy sense of humor, and I love it. I love his channel for that. Yeah. Used for bypassing locks in wargames. Oh yeah. Let's play global thermonuclear war. While I'm still dreaming of having an IMSI 8080 in my lab. Maybe someday. Hi. Hey Rachel. Nice to see you. No wine and cheese. There's no wine and cheese in Keritech. Yeah, looks like 15 minutes until the end. And I think I will do just a little teardown of something that anyone with a kitty knows well and likes a lot. So I've got those lasers. One of them was broken. It had batteries that got damaged. The other one is okay. And it has two buttons, one for the laser and the other one for an LED light. It goes flashy. And yeah, so let's try to take this apart. It doesn't seem that I can unscrew it, so I think I will have to go. Should I get a vice of knowledge? I can have a vice of knowledge all I want. It's cracking! So this is just a ring. Just a ring made of plastic. Damn it, come on, I wasn't expecting this one. And there's an insert right here. And the whole thing just came out pretty easily. There's those buttons fell down from the hose. The vice of knowledge did its job very well. So there's this plastic. There are two 5mm LEDs. And oh fuck, I damaged the laser. Holy shit, I didn't really want this to happen, but yeah. I ended up with a destructive discombobulation. So I can't understand one thing. Like, why is one of those buttons, how does it turn on the LEDs so that it is working all the time and then goes flashing after I press it, but I think I have the answer. If you look at this blob, I think this might be a teeny tiny integrated circuit that controls that. So there are those LEDs. Seems like they are wired in parallel, but I will use a meter to confirm this. Yes, indeed they are. And I think that they go to the microcontroller or whatever this integrated circuit is. And then the laser diode goes through a teeny tiny 0402 SMD resistor here. Or maybe 0603. And goes through the button to the power source. So this is glued in and... oh yeah. I just discombobulated this and... how is it built? Looks like it has a plastic inside. And it has a lens inside. So this threaded plastic insert moves the lens forwards and backward. And it lets us focus the beam. So this is the teeny tiny plastic lens. Ain't that a cute one? And there's a spring pushing the lens out from the other side. So the laser diode stays on the PCB. And truth be told, I've never seen anything like this. Not sure if I can fire this up. But yeah, my best bet would be here and here. I will try doing this for science. Let's get some fire to the wire and see what happens. Got something like 300 milliamps at 4 volts. But I can see nothing. What if I change the polarity? Yeah, no. No current? Nah. Nice try. No dice. Yeah, sometimes you don't get it. Science has always been full of failures. Yeah, Rachel, I also like this skirt. It's pretty much like my first leather skirt that I got in 2008. Back when I was in the closet and yeah, didn't even consider transitioning. Because the attitude about being transgender, they were much stricter and I didn't fit in. Yeah, discombobulating the laser pointer, oh yeah. Am I building a Sputnik? This is an inspiring idea. But I think I would rather build a CubeSat. If I ever get the chance. Yeah, looks like this is a chip on a board. Like many cheap electronic devices had. Lasers should be banned for civilians! No, for crying out loud. It all depends on the power and the optics and the operating mode. How safe or dangerous a laser product is, and that's why we've got the classification of laser products like You may have an industrial grade laser for cutting and engraving that can indeed do a lot of harm if you point at tissues. If it can make a dent in metal, then of course it will affect a tissue. It's a no-brainer. That's why we need safety precautions, but it shouldn't go as far as banning the lasers as technology from civilian use. Imagine not being able to play CDs. You've got lasers and CD players and CDRW recorders and many other things like printers and whatnot. So banning the lasers from civilian use altogether, it goes way too far. But recently I read about the technology that should indeed be banned from civilian use. Like some augmented reality glasses that have cameras in them and display the information about the person you are looking at, like having a camera posting the image somewhere in the cloud where the AI looks the person up by the image, gets the sensitive information on the person, like who they are, where they live, maybe some medical info, some political info, and displaying that on the fucking glasses in an instant. If you have seen RoboCop, the reboot from 2013, like, or something like that, Alex Murphy, the RoboCop, has built-in routines that he can look up any person, any crime suspect, or something like that, and in the database. But this would be limited to law enforcement and governmental agencies, which is not to say that it wouldn't be dangerous this way, because it just puts excessive power in the hands of the system, and this will just fucking lead to a dictatorship, to massive abuse of power. But if this technology gets into the hand of accidental people, some of them being fucking stalkers, some of them being bandits, abusers, fascists, that kind of people who definitely don't mean well, people who want to do violence for different reasons, for bigotry, for personal vengeance, or just to get in someone's panties, no matter what. And there's a lot of people like that, unfortunately, out there in the wild. And if they fucking get the technology to prey on lots and lots of people, anyone they look at, I can't just fucking imagine how the world will be like if this gains traction with no regulation. This just This is just so fucking unhinged. It should not be allowed to continue. Yeah, that's just, yeah. Going off on a tangent about the modern technology and with no insight, with no regulations in place, with no boundaries, this will turn the world into hell. Because all that will count is greed. And unlike Gordon Gekko, I definitely don't think that greed, for a lack of other word, is good. Quite the contrary. So yeah, reading the chat one more time. And this will be the time to call it an evening. Yeah, or a robot. The problem is the widespread accessibility of any technology. If it's so far advanced that it can only be in hand of certain organizations and not just your Joe average, it's far lesser of a problem, though the real problem here would be the immense power concentrated in those hands. This is also always a concern for me. Yeah, tubes, valves, tubes, British, American, British. Yeah, I also distrust the government, especially if the government and the processes that should be democratic is in fact controlled by the few that have millions or billions of dollars at their disposal, like the super PACs in the United States. Deregulation of elections, of the financing of political campaigns. This opens the floodgates to massive corporate funding, and there's a slightly different word for that, and it's fucking corruption. And without regulations in that matter, I just can't see a way of making politics fair again. Making America fair, not great, like certain red hat wearers want, because that was not great in the first place. But making democracy fair again, so that it's not just a bunch of rich as bastards controlling the lives of every single fucking person in the country or on the planet. As long as this asymmetry of power is still around, we just don't have a chance. We, the regular working class people, not the super rich. Yeah, we're all fucked. And I knew it. I knew it for 2 decades. I've been an anarchist for 2 decades. Since high school. Like, we might be frogs boiling in hot waters, not even realizing that the temperature rises and we are being fucked over and over and over again all the time. Unless you're actively interested and seek the knowledge about what's happening and how various people and organizations fuck us over. You keep being fucked over and smiling at the time and thinking that this is the right way, that things should be like this. Like Thatcher and Reagan told you so. Fuck no. So, I think it's gonna be the time to wrap it up and see you next time. I think I'll make a video about something cool in the upcoming days. Because my voice might not be entirely back, but it's coming back. I'm getting over my flu. I'm pretty well. While just a week ago I almost couldn't speak at all. So, things are going better. And for the time being, we all have to stay determined and carry on. Bye. Awkward moment.